Bledsoe was arrested.
Patrick Montgomery was in court.
Jonathan Manapa will stay in federal custody.
No, I don't take responsibility at all.
The 53-year-old Delaware resident Kevin Seefried is one of the most notorious January 6 defendants. You guys are going to remember him. He was one of the first people to enter the Capitol. He went in with his son Hunter, and he was carrying a large Confederate flag. In fact, it was his son who used his gloved hand to clear the last of the glass out of the broken window, which had just been smashed in by Proud Bigot member Dominic Pizzola. Seefried followed his son in through the broken window, and then he was seen and heard on video rushing down the hallway. He was yelling, quote, "Where are they meeting at? You work for us," and quote, "Where are they counting the fucking votes?" A short time later, Seefried and the rest of the mob encountered Officer Eugene Goodman. You guys will definitely remember this. When the officer ordered Seefried to leave, Seefried started jabbing at him with the end of his flagpole. And he said, quote, "I'm not leaving. Where are the members at?" And quote, "Where are they counting the votes at?" Seefried also told Officer Goodman, quote, "You can shoot me, man, but we're coming in." And Officer Goodman testified that Seefried aggressively and repeatedly used the flagpole against him. As you all likely know, too, Seefried and the others chased Officer Goodman up a couple of flights of stairs, but the officer successfully led them away from Congress members, and he got them to an area where other officers were waiting. Seefried, again, was at the front of the mob in this area. He had his racist flag. He was yelling at and berating the group of officers, and he continued to refuse orders to leave. So this standoff and confrontation lasted for about 30 minutes. Then Seefried and his son finally walked away, and in total, they remained in the building for about 45 minutes. So on January 11th of 2021, Seefried had a third party reach out to the FBI to turn himself in because he saw FBI wanted photos of himself online for him and his son. So the FBI interviewed Seefried the following day. He admitted to entering the building, and he admitted that he saw others breaking the window that he climbed through. However, Seefried tried to say that he only entered the Capitol to look for his son. You know, the son who climbed in right before him, the son who was seen in photos and videos standing right next to him the entire time that he was inside the building. So Seefried was arrested on January 14th of 2021, and in a superseding indictment, he was charged with obstructing an official proceeding, entering a restricted building or grounds, entering a restricted building with physical violence against property, 2 counts of disorderly conduct, parading or demonstrating in a Capitol, destruction of government property, and physical violence in a Capitol. Seefried refused a plea deal. He opted instead for a bench trial with Trump-appointed Judge Trevor McFadden, and it didn't really go the way he thought it would because Judge McFadden found Seefried guilty of obstructing an official proceeding, entering a restricted building or grounds, 2 counts of disorderly conduct, and parading or demonstrating in a Capitol. So based on the felony obstruction charge, Seefried was looking at up to 20 years in prison, 3 years of probation, and $250,000 in fines. However, in their sentencing memo, the prosecutor requested only 70 months in prison, 3 years of probation, and $2,000 in restitution. This time, the requested sentence was at the upper end of the federal sentencing guidelines. This was by the recommendation by the probation office. They gave a range of 57 to 71 months. Seefried's attorney begged for leniency. He asked the court for a sentence of only 1 year and 1 day. And he told the judge that Seefried was genuinely remorseful and that he'd already suffered for his actions. Apparently, his wife of 30 years left him. This was after he was convicted. I mean, I would have headed for the door when he supported Trump or when he put the racist flag up on our house, but okay. But what's funny is that Seefried's attorney completely insulted him in their sentencing memo. In the memo to the judge, Seefried's attorney wrote, quote, "Lacking in education beyond the 9th grade and lacking even average intellectual capacity, Mr. Seefried did not appreciate the complex and for many, painful history behind the Confederate battle flag. Wow. Lacking even average intellectual capacity. So Seefried spoke at his sentencing hearing. He apologized to the Capitol Police officers, and he told the judge, quote, "I never wanted to send a message of hate." Seefried also said, quote, "I lost my son and I lost my wife. I made a terrible mistake and my family has suffered because of it." So before handing down his sentence, the judge brought up Seefried's menacing actions and his words towards Officer Goodman, and he told Seefried, quote, "I can't tell you how appalling it was to watch a U.S. Capitol Police officer being chased by a mob. It was a demeaning, humiliating spectacle for anyone who cares about law enforcement." Judge McFadden also called it appalling, and he said, quote, "Sir, I hope you understand how deeply offensive, how troubling it is that you used a Confederate flag as a weapon against Officer Goodman." Then the judge also pointed out that what took place at the Capitol didn't involve, quote, "sophisticated issues," and, quote, "you had every reason to know you shouldn't be in there." In the end, though, Judge McFadden choked again. He sentenced Seefried to 36 months in prison, 1 year of probation, and $2,000 in restitution. And here's one potential reason why, maybe. Seefried is apparently a rectal cancer survivor. He uses a colostomy bag, and evidently he would be at higher risk of contracting an infection in prison. And this was an interesting fact that I hadn't previously heard. Seefried has a biracial grandson. His daughter wrote a letter to the court saying that her baby daddy is not white. She didn't specify what race he is, but she said that their child is biracial and that Seefried, quote, "adores his grandson more than life itself." So maybe he's telling the truth. Maybe he really didn't understand what the Confederate flag meant. I don't know. In any case, he apparently doesn't love his grandson more than he loves Donald Trump, right? I mean, if so, he would have thought twice. Would have thought twice before going to D.C. on January 6th. So 3 years in prison, your son's in for 2 years, you lost your wife, you're going to be without your kids, without your grandchild, all thanks to Trump, all thanks to his lies. And Biden has been president for 2 years, and he'll likely be president for 2 more. So was it worth it? As I always ask. Anyway, guys, if I hear any more, I will let you know. But yeah, this one was kind of a weak sentence, considering all the charges and considering what he was found guilty of. Thanks again so much for watching and listening. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please donate if you possibly can, or become a monthly supporter. Please help me get to 10,000 by tomorrow. So appreciate all of you. Love you all. Take care, and I'll talk with you soon.